place where I felt like poor man was slacking here was when he brought up the Brittany Renner situation.
We present to you Around Productions.
And this is when they was talking about what do men and women bring to the table, and she brings up another great point. I don't know who this woman is, but she was on her A game, and she was talking about how in this day and age relationships aren't typical. Like you can't just say men or women should chase after this and men should chase after that, or a household should be this and that, because it varies now. It's not the traditional household that you see back in the 1970s and 80s anymore.
Do you feel like your household is a typical household that we see now in 2021? Or are we now in a atmosphere where it's both women and men bringing things to the table as far as providing for a household? You say your wife gets to sleep in. Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
But that's not typical.
But that's because my wife selected me based on my drive and not my appearance. She's seen the vision, she's seen where I wanted to go, and she helped me get to that position.
It's not where the man provides or the man is the one that has the job and the wife stays at home. You have this situation now where men and women are both in the workplace. When they start talking about gold diggers and women only want men when they're only solidified and on their A game.
So when women do that, why do we get called gold diggers? Do you feel like your wife was a gold digger because she looked at your drive, she looked at your ambition, she looked at what you could do for her financially?
My wife was with me since I was 15, so that in particular, I'm gonna give you that, because that's not the typical situation. What I'm trying to get at, if a woman is counted a gold digger if the man already is solidified, and that's what women want in 2021, and that's why it don't work out. Y'all try to go for men that are already solidified, that look a certain kind of way, and then when it don't work out, y'all play dumb.
He brings up Brittany Renner, where she basically tries to play dumb about the whole situation between her and PJ.
Look at Brittany Renner. PJ Washington, she dealing with PJ Washington. Oh, he told me this, he told me that. That don't matter. Did he put a ring on that finger? We judge character based off action. We judge characters.
They were married.
We judge character based on actions.
They were married, so I'm confused.
PJ Washington and Brittany Renner was married?
Yes.
Oh shit, I fucked that up then.
Talked about how whether or not he put a ring on it, but he did put a ring on it. The situation isn't even on Brittany, it's on PJ, because PJ chose Brittany because of her looks, which kind of defeats the purpose of men are visual creatures, and that's what I was talking about before, that this is on both ends. Men can pick women who look good, but they can be rotten on the inside, just cruel and just have no good character on the inside. On top of that, she made herself out there. She put herself out there, advertised herself out there to be somebody who, feeds on other people. And Brittany literally sucked the life out of this man, getting millions of dollars out of child support out of him, but she put herself out there as somebody who just wants to be knocked up by a famous celebrity or somebody with a lot of money. And that's how she's going to live the rest of her life. That's on PJ. Then they get into the bases, and I felt like this was kind of random, but he talks about how name one king or one ruler or conqueror that only had one woman.
Name me one good king, one good conqueror that had one woman.
LeBron.
You think LeBron got one? I'm an athlete. I'm an ex-professional athlete. Come on, let's keep it above. You think LeBron ain't? And I'm not even going, and you can't even count Martin Luther King because he was sleeping around.
He was.
Right, so what we talking about? Any good man that has already been established? Come on, let's just keep it above.
I'm just saying,
it's a clean image. Didn't we just discuss that if you text everybody on your phone right now, you said 100% success rate would sleep with you? That's not the case for average men. Do you know that 30% of men will be virgins by the age of 30? Will have never touched a woman?
I was talking to a man the other day on Instagram, and he told me how men are supposed to rule and conquer and dominate, right? And I thought to myself, and I'm like, that's not masculinity. Now, you may think it's very masculine for a man to rule and conquer and dominate, but a man is supposed to bring order. A man is supposed to bring direction. But getting back to the subject at hand, a man or a king or a ruler, a man doesn't need more than one woman to solidify his manhood or his masculinity. And I'm getting tired. I'm getting very tired of seeing on social media this movement of polygamy, that a man solidifies his manhood and his masculinity by being with more than one woman, and that because a man has had babies with multiple women or he messes around with more than one woman, it's in his nature to be with more than one woman. But if you can't have discipline to be with just a woman, how can you represent yourself as being a leader, much less a king, or somebody to look up to, somebody that people should follow, and you can't even hold down or be disciplined enough to be with one woman? Because then if you're with one woman and you feel like you should be with two, then you're going to feel like you're going to have to be with four, then you're going to feel like you have to be with six. Where does the line draw with how many women you should be with? That whole perception on men, men naturally have to be with more than one woman, that's very subjective. Because there's no limitation to how many women that man can be with. Does everybody have their little whole phase? Of course. Everybody had their little fun, whatever the case is. But if you're trying to build a family, if you're trying to build something up like a nation, you should have a woman by your side. I do not advocate for polygamy, polygyny, all that type of stuff. A man should have a woman by his side. All that conquering and dominating, that's chaos. A man is not supposed to bring chaos. A man is supposed to bring order and direction. That's what a leader does. This next part it's a little everywhere. They get into the whole situation of how, she brings up how men are really never satisfied.
I feel like men have too many options. I feel like men kind of are at this point, like they find something good, but they're never satisfied. So whenever they feel like something else comes to them that might be a little bit better, unfortunately, they hop on that and they take that next option.
But what they end up talking about is how the reason why we're in this predicament is that we don't have families anymore. And this is what poor man brings up. He brings up that we don't have families anymore. But the reason that he has for why we don't have families anymore is bigger than that.
What we don't have anymore is family. Right. And that's because the women, what we want from women, they're not providing to us. We don't have any stability in our household. When you look at the Martin Luther King movement, when you look at the Malcolm X movement, when you look at Black Wall Street, all of that was built by black families, not by black women being independent women, looking for the highest guy on the totem pole that they can get. Because you understand that when men have opportunity, like you said, they largely do not settle down with one woman. So why are women looking for men that are the most handsome and tallest guy that got all the money, when that's not the guy that's statistically speaking going to stick with you, and you know that because you just said it?
Well, just leave it at there, but it's bigger than that. Then she says that we don't have families anymore because black men aren't present.
So to go back to your point, the reason why we don't have families is because black men are not present.
It's bigger than men are going for other things, women are going for other things, men aren't present, women ain't choosing good. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. I would say they're both right because they're both wrong. From my perspective. The reason why you don't have family anymore is because it's not portrayed in the media. We do have the black family still. It's just not as portrayed in the media as it used to be very long time ago. When you look on social media, like when you look on television, how many black families do you honestly know and can name? In Blackish, you cannot count 4 because Blackish is not a black family.
I mean, really, why you think it's called Blackish?
It's a mixture of black and mix. Okay, when you have, you can't name a functional or a proper family, black family household. Don't give me the Pangs. Don't give me Meet the Browns. None of that hoopla. No, listen. Think of one. You can't think of one proper or functional family household that they are portraying to you in the media. So when you go out here in the media and you're using celebrities, you're using people that everybody knows, you're using the things that are portrayed to you in the media for the examples of why we don't have family anymore, why we don't have functional families anymore. That's not going to get you anywhere. You're actually playing a part of their agenda. You're actually contributing to their agenda to dismantle the black family. I'm sure we can all agree that the black family isn't as present or common per se as it used to be back in the 1960s and 70s. Reason being is for the feminist movement and talking about welfare and this whole movement of I could do better by myself. So we do have a lot of that going on into play. But there's both sides. You have men who just nut up in girls and they dip. men who don't want to be responsible for their children. You have women who choose the wrong men to have kids with. They chase after the wrong men. Women who have a good man but push them off because they're bitter and they have issues. So there's a lot of issues. A lot of these, they vary. You can't just say generally or that it's just statistically proven that women don't want to be with men, or black women don't want to be with black men because they want to go for somebody like Denzel, Michael B. Jordan. That's not true. All the women that I know personally and in my inner circle, women that I went to school with, women that I go to school with, it's just not true. You're going by something that you see on social media, and you cannot portray your reality by something that you see on Medea. Medea is known as the goddess of illusion. And if you're going by this illusion, this matrix that's being portrayed to you on social media, you may need to reevaluate your perception in life.
Yeah, it's just me, myself, and I. Ride it, dolo, hit me up, might not reply. Feeling focused, got my optics on the light. Feel on the prize, you come for mine. Go suicide, I pay the price. It's just me, myself, and I. Ride it, dolo, hit me up, might not reply. Feeling focused, got my optics on the light. Feel on the prize, you come for mine. Suicide, I pay the price. Hey.